Hey guys, the Gundam here today, and we're going to be looking at all of the red stratagems that we got. There was a specific comment that I had seen, probably somewhere here, wherever I put it, that was asking to do stratagems next, so I'm going to break it up. We're going to go from red stratagems to blue stratagems to green stratagems, and then, I'll explain a little bit of how it functions. But before the video starts, I just want to say thank you very much to everybody who's been liking and subscribing to my content and watching it. I hope some of it's beneficial to you guys. I know I'm a little stupid sometimes with some of the things that I'm saying, and I don't know if it comes off clearly. Like there's a few things in my past videos where I didn't spread the right information. But, everybody in the comments are quick to correct it, so if there's something that doesn't sound right, check the comments. They probably corrected me on it. But I'm doing my best to try and fix that. So, if you enjoyed the video today, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, and you guys can see more of my content as Helldivers updates. Alright, we'll get right to the video. Starting off with, simulate the A-10 Warthog gun runs on those unsuspecting baby automaton makers. A reliable strike that goes forward in the direction, perfect for destroying trains of enemies, and with its heavy pen, it means it can do some serious damage to Hulks, Factory Striders, and Fabricators alike. And due to it being a barrage of bullets, that makes my A-10 erect. It can still rip into smaller types of units. I don't know what's more beautiful, Eagle 1 or the bullets that come out of her plane. Oh lordy. Next up, we have the means to destroy an automaton wedding. This left-to-right bombing run is the most versatile Eagle stratagem. This bomb that can easily kill Factory Striders and the troopers all the same. And remember, this airstrike always goes left to right, so if you are in the strike path, you're probably not making it out. Like this fumble. Don't fumble that throw like I did. Napalm Strike is the same thing as Airstrike, but sporting incendiary bombs guided by tiny eagles like its Angry Birds. This will not destroy Fabricator buildings, but it might destroy buckles if you get lucky. Automatons don't die, which means simulate what hell would be like for them if they could die. Next up, special guest, your mom. The 500 kilogram bomb is capable of doing the most damage to all the bots and bugs alike. Its newly upgraded range means that the bomb is less likely to miss. If you like creating what would look like the atom bomb to an ant, then this is the heavy swinger for you. There is nothing that this bomb can't kill. But do remember, if you are not fully upgraded on your ship, you'll only have one of these bombs, whereas I have two. Oh no, look out! Nah, I'm just kidding. That's the Eagle Smoke. Use this to vanish into the fog. Pretend to be Ezra Miller while the bots pretend to be the police. Run away from enemies and block the line of sight with a smoke bomb. Create those crazy cool scenes in movies where they're walking through the smoke, gunning down targets that can't see. This is really good for breaking the line of sight of enemies, especially if you're being chased, and it lets you disappear into the smoke like a ghost. Now we got the most deadly stratagem to all the baby divers, beginning of the war to now. We got the Cluster Strike. This was purely made to crowd control the hordes of enemies you attract with that FANG out! It doesn't destroy buildings, but man, it can rip a hole into those that you deem unworthy. Don't expect this thing to kill tanks or Hulks, but it might tickle them a little bit if you get lucky. Now we have Rocket Pods. Eagle 1 will fire barrages of Stanley Cups near targets you mark. Eagle 1 is smart enough to make judgment calls to prioritize certain targets, meaning she will not target the small bots if you're aiming for the Hulk, or the Fabricator, or the Factory Strider. And she's also smart enough to tell when you fuck up a throw, as she will still target the biggest thing nearby. And even if you do throw it really badly and fuck it up completely, Eagle 1 will still target whatever she deems as a threat to liberty. Now moving on to Orbitals, we got the EMS Strike. It stuns enemies, leaving them defenseless for what I'm going to do to them next. Next up, we have the Gas Orbital Strike. This Indian waste disposable tactic is good at choking enemy points, leading to them being damaged over time. Great at holding positions and disrupting enemy movements. And I would show you a photo what this Indian food looks like when it's done coming out your ass, but guess what? I don't think YouTube would like that. So we're gonna move on. Orbital Gatling Barrage is the chain punch from God himself. Being capable of lobbing a heavy pen and rounds allow you to take on Factory Striders and ground units alike. Due to its wide spread though, it's pretty unreliable in taking out targets that move a lot. Daily reminder to take your 380mm orbital cannon out for its daily walkies. Use this to advance on enemy positions or sweep bases off the map before raiding it. This thing hits pretty hard and it's capable of taking on heavy enemies. Just don't bet on it hitting moving targets due to it being... Hey, wait! Congratulations, Stalker, you are promoted to being homeless. Next up, we have the Rail Cannon Strike, the in case of Hulks or Charger Spray. Throw this to get an instant kill on most heavy units. It can strike down Hulks, Chargers, Impalers, Titans, tanks, but it will only destroy the top turret of these jerks, but it still does a shit ton of damage, honestly. The Shotgun Blast from space, the Orbital Airburst Strike. This is capable of sandblasting all the medium pen targets and under. Cut the first seconds of bug breaches by dropping this on spawn to completely sweep the enemy. You can also use this as an aerial denial option because it's a shotgun blast from space. Next up, Orbital Napalm Barrage is my favorite way to absolutely clear out all the enemy bases This Pompeii simulator is great at crowd controlling enemy bases and spawn camping their home nest, medium pen targets and under. Does not destroy buildings though, but it does destroy you. Next up we have the Orbital laser, the goat at deleting enemies as it tracks down targets. Despite its questionable origin, this laser can kill everything it sees. Probably why you only get 3 shots per mission, which is fair because I can only pump my laser twice. Next up we have the Orbital Smoke Strike. It is basically the same thing as the Airstrike variant, but it's not afraid of anti-air emplacements. Next up we have the 120mm HE Barrage. This is the Fat Man solution to taking on bases. Like, why go in there myself when I have my entire space crew of slaves to handle it instead? I mean, they're not slaves, they're democratic workers for the government. If you ask any questions, I'll report you to the democratic officer. Lastly, we have the 380mm, and it is the same as the 120, but the shells are loaded with the Fat Man who came up with this idea. Land this in an area where you need someone to be destroyed, and it will do its best to completely annihilate the entire fucking area. That includes you and your teammates alike. No one's safe from this one. Bile Titans, Factor Striders. I think the only few things that would actually be safe from it are the aerial units, but even sometimes they get hit. And finally, the thing we've all been waiting for, the end of my video. If you guys like what you saw today, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to see more of my content in the future. Otherwise, you have a great one.